Hi everyone, in today's video I'm gonna go over with you on the WP remote for WordPress. They went over and sponsored today's video, so I want to thank them and you for watching this video and obviously them for sponsoring today's video. But I want to mention here is that they actually saved me personally on one of my projects. Now I'll talk about that just in a few minutes, but I want to show you what WP remote can help you with and why you might be interested in going over and using this tool. Now this is a very powerful tool if you're managing multiple websites, as you might have guessed. But as you can see here, if we scroll to the bottom here, we can see here that we have the ability using WP remote to update all your sites that you manage. Everything here will be connected. And if you watched one of my videos on my channel, which is the blog vault, which is also coming from the same developers and the same company, and the same thing goes with MalCare and Airlift and also Migrate Guru, all of these are coming from the same company and they provide you so much value that I cannot express enough how much it is. Now, as you can see here, we have all the websites. You can update them in one go, which I'll show you in this tutorial. And we can see here, you can be sure that your websites are 100% safe with a comprehensive security. Now, we can also see here that we can also test websites on staging environments and also checking backups before you actually push them to production if anything went wrong on your website. Now, we can also see here that they monitor the website 24/7. And if anything happens, they actually send you an email when the website is down and what happens or what you can do or how they will be able to fix it with the tools that they have. We can see here that we can also send some reports to your clients. Again, if you're managing multiple websites, because you see, from my personal opinion, because I do manage some websites for my clients and they do require some updates for some plugins. And trust me, from experience, you're not sure what plugin will crash the website or one thing would not work with another, which I've seen with some plugins when I'm working with Elementor, some plugins that add up to Elementor, or let's say you have a payment plugin that you're plugged into your website and something went wrong and you're not sure if the update will do better or worse. Or let me rephrase that actually. Let's say you did install the plugin and it works fine, but the update might crash or might not work the way that you intended to. So this is actually a good thing because then you will be able to send those reports automatically. Again, you'll see everything in the tutorial. You'll be able to include your logo. You'll be able to actually express what happened in this month or X amount of time that you wish to schedule that report. Now we can see here we can also do backups for the websites. So we can see here that we have a lot of tools, and this is just scratching the surface because I will show you everything that you need to know. And by the way, this tool is not only backed up by my word or by any other creators on there on YouTube. You'll be able to see here that it also been backed up by Maintain, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Sidecar, WP Buffs, GoWP, and Valid. So without further ado, let's dive right in. First thing first, what we'll have to do is log in or sign up if you don't have an account yet. In my case, I went over and logged in, so it is already open in this window. Now we can see here I have two websites. One is my own and the other one is my client's one. You can see here that we have a pretty interesting dashboard over here. So let me walk you through or give you a little orientation of what we have here. So right here on the top, we have our dashboard, which will lead us to this dashboard. As we can see here, we can see everything at a glance, and here it is my personal or my own dashboard where I can see everything. I can see all the plugins, all the themes that need to be updated, everything that is happening, how many websites do I have right here on the left, and I can see here my email. I can see here what my current plan is. I can see whether Airlift is active here, and we can see here the MalCare free is active on one of those websites. Now I can see here that all the things here currently, some of them are at 0 team. I don't have any team currently that is connected to this dashboard and can manage all those data. And we can see here auto update. We don't have any updates and we don't have any reports. Now we can schedule, and we can see here all these buttons are actually clickable and you can navigate or you can control anything that happens over here. Now, if we'll head over to this section, to this middle section, we can see here how many plugins plugins do I have to update, whether it's on my websites or on my clients' websites. Now, one cool feature here is that we can see here on how many websites do I have, what's the severity or what will happen or how much it's critical to do so. And we can see we have a little warning over here, update packages not available. So I will have to enable the license for this one, but again, this is to my handling. We can see here that each one of these, let's say click it, we'll be able to see here the update lens, which is currently in beta, but I think it is so great that they did this because we can see here how many code changes, we can see all the things that are actually being affected, and we can see here the risk level, and we can see here the version gap, adoption, we can see the maturity, and we can see the popularity. We can see here that everything here is just perfectly done. Let's say I'll head over to Jet Engine over here and I'll click it. We'll be able to see that the adoption here is currently at high risk, but again, this is my personal handling. So as we can see here, these things are actually perfect because then you don't have to guess what happens or where everything is happening, because once you click one of them, let's say I have this one Elementor, let's open that up and we can see here this is on one of my websites, which is my personal website. And when we click it, we'll be able to see here that this is the version and it wants to update to 3.29.2 current to this video. We can see here the severity, what will happen, and we can see here this one is active, meaning the plugin is actually active on my website. Now I can head over and click it and then it will add up over here, and then I can from this dashboard update manually this plugin. Now, currently, I don't have any themes that need to be updated. Otherwise, there will be a number on top of the themes, and the same goes with WordPress. But in all, I have only 7 plugins that I have to update, and which on some of them, there are no packages are available. Now, what happens if I want to refresh and see if anything already happened? So I'll just simply click refresh, and then it will refresh this specific window. We can see here that we can also switch to low risk updates, but let's give it a minute to the refresh to fetch the latest update. And we can see here it's done. There is nothing new. And once I click this one, we'll be able to see that there are low risk. So these plugins actually are low risk. And once we uncheck that, we can see all the some mid or high risks plugin that have to be updated. If we scroll to the bottom over here, we'll be able to see the backups. Now the backups are going day by day, and that is using the block vault. As I said before, the WP remote is part of all this ecosystem, which I think they've done a perfect job at it, where they added the block vault, where they did the airlift, which I'll come down to just in a minute. And then there is also the MalCare and the Migrate Guru, which is not currently in this package or in this dashboard, but it's, you could say, kind of standalone, but it actually completes it, and I use it and it's perfect. And again, you can see all the plugins or all these tools right here in one of the cars. I always forget which side it is, but it will be there. We can see here that the backup is done by day, and currently there are no fails, which is perfect, proving my point, what I was talking about, the backups. Just beneath that, we have the staging. So I'll get to it, but I just want to show you here that we can see from my own dashboard, not from the website's dashboard, which we'll come to. We can see here the staging. We can see that currently I have only one staging, and we can see here the site expiring at 25th of June 2025, current to this video. Now we can see also the firewall. We can see your traffic blocked. We can see how many things are being blocked. When I hover, there's currently 1 block, and then when I hover each one of them, there's 0 blocked. 2 of them are enabled because I have 2 websites on this account. And then when I scroll to the bottom, we can see the performance, and we can see the load time, which you can see here currently it's in beta. But if we scroll to the top, we can see the notifications. Currently, you can see what I've done through those websites. So we can see here, this is my client's website, but we can see what happened. So what I had to do on his website, I backed it up via Block Vault, and then what I did, I just did a staging website, and then I worked on that website. And once I finished the job that he wanted to, what I did, I pushed the staging to production. So we can see here that all those steps are actually being recorded, and we can see step by step what happened. So we can see your staging site downloaded. So I wanted to download a backup from the original website, and we can see here the sync success. So everything is synced. We can see here the staging site has been downloaded. So I've also downloaded the staging website just in case, and we can see here download backup complete, and we can see here diff completed. So what actually happens, and what this plugin or this whole ecosystem allows you to do, is to see what are the changes between plugins, files, themes, and what have you. And then once you agree to all those changes and you're perfectly fine with what's gonna happen, then it goes and merge everything. So you don't have to do anything manually. There's no going and bringing this back up and uploading it to your hosting and then dealing with all this mess. So nothing, none of that. So everything is done over here, and you can see how everything is being compared in this tool. So this is just like great because you don't have the hustle of spending hours of just seeing what went wrong. So this tool and the whole ecosystem tells you how you'll be able to differentiate what happened or what went wrong just from this dashboard. Again, I'll show you by site what will happen and what are the things that have been changing and so on. So this is the notification area. But if we scroll to the bottom here, we can see the security, all sites are clean, and this one is using MalCare. So MalCare, if you've missed the tutorial on my channel, it will be popping up right now. But in a nutshell, this is perfect plugin or perfect tool to just clean your website. It sends you notifications just as all this ecosystem does, and it just keeps your website up and running and just updates you on anything that is happening currently, because we have all this attacks sometimes on our WordPress websites, and I've seen not one, not two, I've seen many, and MalCare is just a great tool to do that, and yeah, I recommend it. So if we scroll to the bottom here, we have reports. So I currently haven't scheduled or haven't done any reports at all. And we can see here also the opt-in monitoring, which is great because as I told you before, it does monitor your websites when they're down or when they're up. We can see here haven't been any time that those websites that I have in this account have ever been down. So all the time they've been up. So this is a cool thing that we can see here. If we'll head over to our sites over here again, we'll be able to see when I click the sort sites, it will sort the websites from top to bottom or bottom to top, ascending, descending, and so on. Now we can also filter websites connected, disconnected, hacked, or locked. Now currently we can see here I have only one warning, which is 2 vulnerable plugins detected once you hover it. We can see here right away. You can see here that every time when I hover each of these icons, I have this tooltip, which is great because then you don't have to enter necessarily the dashboard and see what actually is happening there, but you can see here everything again at a glance. But if you wish to, again, we'll head over in one of those websites and I'll show you everything. And we can see here the security is enabled. We can see here the backups are enabled. We can see here the site is up, and we can see here there are no staging available currently on this one. And we can see here also there are 2 plugins update available. Now, at any given time, I can enter the WP admin of this current website that is connected to this ecosystem. We can see here we'll be able to start a refresh sync, and we'll be able to see the site's history, and we can also see more details about this website. Now, the simplest way that you can connect all of those plugins, whether it's MalCare, BlockVault, WP Remote, or even Airlift, is simply clicking the add site button right over here, right at the right top hand corner over here, right beneath the account. So you click it and then you add your URL. And then once you've added your URL, you simply click continue. And over here, the next thing that will happen is it will ask you what plan do you want to put this specific website. Now we can see here there are a range of plans. You can see here we have the free, plus, prime, pro, and max. By the way, if I haven't mentioned it yet, there is a link down in the description of this video, which you can get a 20% off if you wish to follow this link, which is actually a win-win situation. I'm doing this tutorial. You see everything step by step, how you'll be able to manage all those websites and how you'll be able to back up to see all those stats. And then I get a commission. I think that's perfect. It's a win-win situation. I just love to do that because you see companies like this actually enable me to show you things that otherwise I would not be able to. And these are great plugins that I actually cherish and I really love to work with, because you can see that the plan that I currently have is plus. We can see here I have currently 3 sites. I don't mind that. I don't need even more currently, but in my personal opinion, I would definitely pay for that because it is a no-brainer when it comes to site security, sites backup, staging, and so on, as you'll be able to see throughout the tutorial. I think I've said that so many times up till now, so I'll stop saying that, but I think you get the point. And you can see here at every of those plans, you'll be able to see what you're getting and what you're not getting. So in the free plan, you have unlimited license, so you can connect as much website as you want to, but in the plus, you get more benefits than you get in the free, as obvious as it is. And we can see here, we can see firewall, cleaner, and so on. So I'll head over and proceed with the plus one. And once you click it, it will head over and start analyzing your website. Just give it a minute, and then there we go. It's been changed successfully. Good. And we can see here it already started analyzing and syncing. And we can see here also the estimation time. So far, so good. I'll think I'll leave it to it, and I'll head over and go back to my dashboard. And then now we'll be able to see that one of those websites has been added, and and now I'll have to install the plugin. And we can see once I click install, it will redirect me to this page, and then I'll have to download the plugin of WP Remote and then install it manually, or just give the credentials to WP Remote and it will install that automatically on my websites. Whichever way you choose to, it's perfectly fine. I'll head over and go back to my websites, and then I want to show you on my personal website, which is currently in development, and I'm currently to this video, but if you're watching this from the future, it's probably already live, so you can head over and check it out. So I'll head over to my website, and then we'll be able to see here this dashboard. Yes, it is similar to what we've saw before with some slight changes here and there, and I'll show you exactly what it is. Right here on the left, we'll be able to see my website, my URL, the name of the website, and we'll be able to see the current PHP version. We can see here my plan is currently on plus, and if I want to add some tags, they will be over here. Now we can see here my WordPress version 6.8.1 to the time of recording of this video. I have 13 plugins currently. I have 3 themes. I have the flux currently enabled on my websites. I have only one user, which is me, and the admin is obviously me. I don't have any clients over there. I don't have any auto updates. I don't have any notifications, and I have the files synced. We can see here the table synced, and we have the size over here, and we can manage them by clicking each one of them, and we can also configure all these buttons over here. If we scroll to the top, we'll be able to see here I have 87 backups, and we can see here it is synced 7 hours ago. So from what I've seen in the blog vault review and tutorial, that is syncing on around 5 a.m.-ish, something like that, and it is backing up everything. So I have, as you can see here, 87 backups, and I'll show you in a minute how you'll be able to see, manage, migrate, and download a backup if you want to. Now we can see here we have the security and firewall. So currently it is enabled on my website, so we can see here my site is clean, and then I have the firewall enabled. If you want to, you can review the security by clicking this button, and we'll redirect you over here and we'll show you everything. So you can see here the site is clean, the firewall is enabled, and the monitoring is on. So we can see here everything here is perfectly fine. SSL monitoring is great, visual monitoring, login limits, and so on. So if we scroll to the bottom here, we'll be able to see that everything is enabled, as I told you before, the ozone layer, cortex layer, and carbon layer. So backups, WP activity log, advanced monitoring, malware scanner, vulnerability scanner, malware cleaner. So if anything happens on my website, there is a malware, it goes right away, just clean that up out of the window, and it's great. Now we have also the firewall, the bot protection, which I'll show you, which is great. We can see here the login protection. Now, if we head over to the ozone layer, by the way, each one of them, you can see here ozone layer, cortex layer, and carbon layer would be detailed right beneath it. So we can see here the ozone layer. If I scroll to the bottom here, we can see here the firewall rules. We can see here the bot protection, login protection, WordPress two-factor authentication, cortex layer, as we can see here. So we can see here ozone layer and then the cortex layer. And we can see here the malware scanner and so on. Everything is enabled. Everything would be over here. And then the vulnerability scanner, we can see here all the plugins over here, the malware scanner, and then the carbon layer. So let me go very fast on each one of them, because this is a very powerful thing, which again comes from MalCare. And we can see here there have been total requests of 1,760. We can see here when I hover each one of those countries, how many in total have been. And we can see here Brazil currently has been blocked, or there has been a bad request over here, and mainly are from the United States. So and we can see here still from the United States, and then we have also from Europe, which is great. And we can see here the atomic security, everything is working, and we can see also the one request is blocked. And when I click it, we'll be able to see it will redirect us and show us what happened. We can see here the response 403 from Brazil, method is get, the path is to my homepage, and it happened 2 days ago. Now if we'll head over back, now we can see here the firewall rules. Again, we can see here everything is great. 100% of the attacks has been blocked. We can see here 8 attacks has been blocked, total attacks 8. Now if we scroll to the bottom, we have the bot protection, and we can see here obviously there are good bots and then there are bad bots. So the good bots is Bing bot, Google bot, and Facebook bot. So everything is protected. So we can see here 8,457 bot IPs blocked globally. So you can see here you're in good hands. So now we can see here also the login protection. So currently I don't have any recent login attempts found, so this is perfect. So we can see here also the WordPress two-factor authentication. So let's head over to our cortex layer, and then over here we'll be able to see that my website has been scanned 7 hours ago, and we can see here when my next scan would be, it would be in 17 hours. So the result, my website is clean, so this is perfect. And we can see here the alerts are on and everything is on. And if I want to see more data, there's auto information, and we can see here the recent modified files, everything would be detailed over here. So far you can see how many information you have only by this tool. I know that it is combining a few tools together, but this is massive. Let's scroll to the bottom here. We can see here the vulnerability scanner. We can see here how many add-ons I have and how many things. So this one is actually merging the plugins and the themes here, meaning it's not merging them together, but it puts them in one table. So we can see here the Elementor SEO Press, Hello Elementor 2025, and Solid Security Basic. We can see here there is no action required. It is fine. And we can see here these themes are not active. I usually keep some of the themes on my website just in case I'll have to debug something with the theme that I'm currently using. And we can see here the SEO Press needs an update, and then also the Elementor usual plugin, not the pro one, needs an update, and we can also update that from here just by clicking one of those buttons. And the Solid Security Basic, I just keep that as it is. I just normally like to change things here and there, and sometimes I use plugins as another layer of security, even though MalCare is perfect at doing that. Just my personal preferences. And we can see here the MalCare cleaner. We can see everything here is perfect. And then under the carbon layer, we can see here all the backups. So we can see here 7 hours ago was the last backup. We can see here 87 as we saw before. The frequency is daily and the total size is 288.66 megabytes. And we can see here everything is in green, so everything is good. And we can see also the WP activity log. So what happened, what was updated, everything that is done. We can see here that I've also worked on some of the posts on my website. So yeah, I'm trying to get some more posts on my website before I obviously publish that. And we can see here the plugins, the posts, and so on, the username, time, and so forth. And we can see here also the advanced monitoring. We can see here the uptime. We can see all the visual regression. So this thing is what I was talking about before. So we can see what changed, what was the change between the versions of before updating a theme, after updating the theme, or before updating the plugin and after updating the plugin, what was actually being changed or been altered, even by the pixel. Yes, this is so much precise as that. And we can see here also the page content, what went wrong or what changed. So currently nothing has changed. And we can see also the domain 3 months ago, I had to update that. And then the SSL certificate 21 hours ago, I assumed that it checked it. Everything is perfect. And we can see here also the PHP version last 24 hours. I haven't enabled that, but this is my personal preference. So if we'll head over back, we'll be able to see here that again, I have 2 plugins, Elementor and SEO Press, as we saw before. So we can see everything is connected. Now, if I'll scroll to the bottom here, we can see the reporting. I'll show you that just in a minute. I just want to finish and wrap up all those things, and we'll be able to see here the advanced monitoring, which we saw also before, so I won't go over and bother you with that. And we can see here also the form testing, which is new. I haven't tried that yet, so I don't know what to tell you about that, but I think that this is great because there are a lot of form submissions which is spam, which is trying to hack your website, and again, MalCare is taking care of that. And if we scroll to the top, we'll be able to see here the notes. Currently, I don't have any notes on my own website. And then if I want to enable a staging right over here, this is the place. We'll show that just in a few minutes. And we can see here also the WP activity log. So currently, it has already updated the Lightspeed cache over here and downgraded that. That's what I did manually here. The Elementor 3.29.0. I've also, as you can see here, modified some of the posts on websites. So we can see here, we can scroll and see how many changes have been done on my website. And here we'll be able to see, I think I've deleted that. Yeah, I deleted the posts, I deleted some comments and so on. Yeah. And then we can see the performance, which is using Airlift, which is scanning my websites and seeing what's the total time of uptime, the request count, and so on. And it gives me a score. We can see here, I can also install manually the Airlift on my website. And then if I wish to, I can head over and enable the Google Analytics or connect Google Analytics rather to WP Remote. And then I'll see all this information right over here at a glance. So far, you can see how many things I can do just by that or how much benefit all this ecosystem gives me. So let me show you just a few more things. So let's start not by reporting, but by the backups, because backups are so essential to websites. Because let's say something goes wrong with your website and you don't have a backup. I'm sorry to say you're screwed, because then you don't have anything which would be a backup to your website. So let me show you what I mean here. So let's head over to our details over here. And then we can see here again, 87 backups. You can do a manual backup by simply clicking backup now. You can restore your site if something went wrong and you want to go back to a different backup that is available over here, and it will be just a few minutes and then your website will be up. And then you can see here the total files, the total tables, and we can see here some of the buttons over here. We can see here we'll be able to migrate our website to another place if we wish to another domain to another hosting. And we can see here we can also auto restore if we want to, which I told you just before. You can choose a manual backup of your available backups over here in this dashboard, and then just change or fix the website with your backup, so to say. And we can also upload the backup to Dropbox if you wish to, or download the backup, or if you want to, you can test and then restore. We can see here that some of the files have been ignored, which is fine with me. And we can see here also some of the tables have been ignored. Now, as I've mentioned in the Blog Vault review and tutorial, there is a real-time update, and I think it is more than even worth mentioning what that thing does. So let's say you have an e-commerce store and you're selling products on your website. So you're going by on your day and you're doing your stuff and you're handling some of the orders and everything goes fine. And then by the end of the day, you're doing the things in the back end or in real life and, doing the packaging, sending, talking to suppliers and so on. And then you're going by the end of the day and your website crashed. And let's say you had some orders going in throughout the day, even before your website crashed, or let's say not crashed, has been hacked, which is worse. But again, I'm talking about a specific scenario. Let's say you don't have MalCare, okay? But here, what that thing does is on real time, as the name suggests, it is updating or backing up those small changes that happens on your website, such as orders, in such a way you're not missing anything. Meaning, when you enable that, currently I don't have it in my plan, but when you enable that, then you can be sure that those orders are being backed up and no information goes to waste. And that is exactly the power of it, which is perfect. Again, this is for those who's using WooCommerce, e-commerce store. This is not only applying to WordPress, but since my channel is about WordPress, so you get the point. We can see here also the backup stats. As we can see here, currently everything is running, everything is synced. We can see here the blue, it is ignored, so it's fine with me. And by clicking the show all backups over here, we can see all the backups has been done on my website. So over here, we'll be able to see those backups. We can see here when it was done, and we can see everything that has happened. So we can see your activity at the current date, what was updated, nothing here, nothing here. We can see here the version. We can see everything that we saw just in a small portion that we saw on the dashboard. And the perfect thing about that, even from here, you can migrate that specific backup. We can upload that, we can download, test and restore, or we can restore that specific backup. Now, one thing that I also want to mention is that you can also filter those backups by date. So let's say you've gone, a few days without looking at your website, and then you realize that your website has been hacked or been crashed or whatever it is. So you can actually restore a backup that is currently was active and it was good by date. So we can see here right here on the top right hand corner, you can click that and see and search by year, month, and day. This is from all those backups. Now, if we'll go back, we can see here all this beautiful thing. And again, as I told you before, manual backup, just click that. Or if you want to restore your site, just click that. And then what will happen is that it will redirect you to this page, and then you'll be able to choose what backup you want to restore from. And we can see here, we'll be able to select all files or all tables, or I want to specifically choose what tables I want to restore or not restore just by simply clicking this button over here. And we can see here, we'll be able to see what files I want to. Currently it is selected, but let's say I don't want to restore this one, and then I confirm that, and it would change to custom selected files. The same thing goes with the advanced options over here. We can see here the file permission, copy file permissions. I usually do that. And there's a pre-restore checks completed. As we can see here, it does all those things in the background, so you don't have to worry about that. And if you want to choose a specific backup, the same thing goes over here. You just simply click the change button over here, and then you choose from your backups right from here. And then once you're done with it, just simply click continue, and it will head over and restore your website to this specific backup that you specified over here. Let's go back. So let's scroll down a bit and we'll be able to see our reporting, which I told you in the beginning of this tutorial. So let's head over, create a new report. And over here, let's scroll to the top and we'll be able to see here that we have some options to configure. Select template. Currently, I don't have any template, so it will be the default template. And then I have the primary color. Currently, it is on purple, but let's say I want to do it as black. And we can see here that this image is changing right away. So let's change that to blue, or let's change it to white. And we can see here it will change to white, but let's keep it as black. So we can see here also the language. There are a variety of languages that you can choose from: German, Dutch, Spanish, Norwegian, French, Italian, Danish, Portuguese, and Serbian. This is the current languages that they have. I assume that in the future they will have more, but again, this is the languages that I have so far. And we can see here also the start date, end date, and then the date format. We can see here we can use day as first, month first, or year first. We can see here also the pages. We can choose the report title. So let's say report by, I don't know, Easy WP for you. And we can see it will also change right over here. So we can see here also it changed, and that is great. We can also change the logo over here. So currently it is on MalCare. So once you click the custom, it will open a window on your PC or Mac, and then it will be able to choose your logo if you wish to. Again, this is when it comes to managing different websites and you want to send a current report to this specific website. Cover image, it will be on MalCare, but again, same process would be here. Now, if I want to head over and go to the introduction, we'll be able to see here that we'll be able to customize the text over here and see the heading, the subheading, and the description. Again, you can customize everything here. This is simple text. And let's head over to the overview, and then over here, the same thing goes. The overview giving you an overview of your website health. It will show you exactly, and you can see that by clicking the image over here, how many updates, how many backups, firewall, performance, uptime, custom work, and so on. And you can see here with his little logos, which is simple data, but this is so great because you don't have to do it manually by going to Canva or anything of the sort. Just simply clicking, scheduling, configuring, and sending it to your client, and job done. You don't even have to do all the hustle. So everything is done for you, I think, with a very fair price. So let's go to our updates, and then over here we'll be able to see again the updates, the subheading, and then when you click it, you'll be able to see updates. Again, this is just simple data, and you can see here everything is being detailed over here on this page. The same thing goes with the backups, how many backups. So you can see here how you can customize each one of those things. We can see here how many scans has been done. You can see here on Wednesday what happened. You can see it in red, it's been hacked, so now it's clean the day right after that. So this is just like great. And you can see here also the firewall. You can see here also the stats. I love those stats. I love when there is stats that being brought to me by companies or by tools that I use, because then I'd be able to see it more visually than just numbers, because sometimes you don't actually know what this means. So over here we can see the firewall, the regular or the attacked. We can see here how many times the attack tried to go through, and then we can see here the blocked, allowed, and we can see here the brute force login bot, Python HTTP library has been blocked, as you can see over here under the bot protection. And if we scroll to the bottom, we'll be able to see here the uptime. We can see here also that. So again, yeah, there's not enough for me to say about this tool that is just perfect for these type of things. And we can see here the custom work. We're able again to change all those headings, subheadings, and so on to your own language if you wish to. You don't necessarily have to use or pay attention to the language over here. You can simply turn it to your own language, but some of them do take into consideration they will be still in English. But again, you can customize whatever they give you over here. And let's go to the conclusion. And then over here, you can write your own conclusion if you wish to. You can see here the heading, subheading, and description, and also the Google Analytics. But again, once your Google Analytics would be connected to the website, then that thing would be enabled. And we can also, once we're done, create a report. And before that, we can also review that. And then over here, it will generate the report, and then we'll be able to see the whole report right over here before we send it to our client. Let's just give it a minute. And as we can see here, the report preview. So you can see here the first page, you can scroll between all those reports. And I think this is great because then you can see what you're actually sending to your client and how it looks before you actually schedule those reports. So this is perfect. Let's head over back. And then over here, what I wanted to show you here is how you'll be able to make a staging website. So over here, let's head over to this section and add a staging website. I can use one of those backups. Again, the same thing goes when I use the backups, and I show you how to do that. You just simply click the change button over here, and then you'll be able to choose from a variety of backups that you have on WP Remote or BlockVault if you're using BlockVault. And then once you click that, you just simply confirm. By the way, you can also choose the PHP version over here. So I usually go with 7.4, or you can go even higher, 8.1, 8.2. And there you go. You just simply click continue, and then it will generate the staging website. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you in this tutorial. So I think this is a no-brainer because WP Remote gives you so many things. Even the pricing, if we'll head over to the pricing over here, you'll be able to see how much it is. Let's say you have 5 websites and you're on the basic plan over here, which is $29 a month. We have backups and management. And here, just pay attention that it is not including the security, meaning there is no scans over here. But as you go up the tiers, you can see here you have more and more options. But you can see here how many things you're getting for the price. You can see here by month. And if you head over to yearly, I think this is down to your preferences, but you can see how many things they are giving you for the price that you are paying. And And this is instead of going and adding this plugin and this plugin, this one and this one, and you're not sure if each one of them would work together or there would be any issues with one another. And here is everything in just one place, and you can manage on not only one website, because going into one website and then logging out and then going to another one, and I think you get the point. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you in this video. If you got any value of this video, please leave a like. It tells me what videos you liked on this channel, and it just means the world to me when you leave even a comment. I just love to hear you guys, because your comments are just the best. I love to see how my videos are helping you on almost daily basis, and this is what I opened this channel to help you guys. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos, tips, tricks, and tutorials on WordPress, Elementor, or WooCommerce, and in general in WordPress. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next one.